the fastest growing operator in Europe, in the world. Then, why we are so successful? Finally, we stopped with this difficult original word outlier, which is not a Polish equivalent. Why we are successful? In my own private opinion, we are one of the best telco team in Poland. That's why we are successful. And each team has very good players. I'm in this company kind of a goalkeeper, question keeper. My name is Marcin Gruszka, I'm a spokesperson, but I'm not the #1 person here today. We have with us our striker, marketing striker, which is Bartosz Dobrzyński, our CMO. Bartosz, zapraszam. And the most important in our company is our captain, Jürgen Dangiensen, CEO of the Play, who will run the presentation. Thank you so much. And
thank you. Maybe you can just turn around and show what you have on the back. Old news. Morning, everybody. I need my magazine here to kill the fly or something. We all got the Barcelona flu again, or blues again, or whatever it is. I got a real flu, so I'm sorry. I hope my voice will keep up for the next half an hour. It's always interesting to come to Barcelona and see, well, where's the industry heading. And yesterday I spent the full afternoon at the Leadership Summit, which last year was quite depressing. It was whining about regulation and everything's going to change, and most operators were not very pleased with the upcoming prospects of the business, despite the fact that there's something out there that is booming, which is the data usage. And yesterday was very much a repetition of last year, so the front page of the magazine is now CEO's repeat call for lighter regulation. And there was a lot of talk about what is actually happening other places, which is much better, like in the US. And as Jacek, our Chief Strategy Officer, who's somewhere in the room, mentioned during the conference, like, okay, we would like it as the US as well. They have 0 mobile termination rates and they have no roaming. Is that what we want in Europe? As a challenger operator, I can only say we would definitely support and vote for that. But I think that was not what the CEOs were mentioning. When we made the header saying Play is an outlier, we got the inspiration from the book by Malcolm Gladwell, which I, by the way, can recommend, which is called The Outlier. Statistically different phenomena in society, whether it's why Korean flights tend to fall down more often than other flights and things like that, and why 1/3 of the hockey players in the NHL are born, 75% are born in the first 3 months of the year, and then he's going through why is that. So we are saying Play is an outlier statistically compared to other operators, and we would like to spend a few minutes on going through why is that. But we see 2012 as a very good year, and when we look at what is happening at the Mobile World Congress, it's all about data. It's all about a lot of data in the future. So we can still say we are actually optimistic about future growth in the industry. This one doesn't work. Right. Just a few words about Play. We are the 4th mobile operator in Poland. I would say more about Poland afterwards. We are owned by 2 entities: Tolaton, which is controlled by the Greek businessman Panos Yamanos, and Noveda, which is a British Icelandic investment fund. And when we launched in March 2007, the market was divided almost equally between 3 players: Era, which is today called T-Mobile, Orange, and Plus. The company behind Plus is called Polkomtel, and now back then owned by a conglomerate including Vodafone, now in private hands of a Polish businessman. And just for those who do not really understand what Poland is, when we talk about big countries in Europe, people tend to say the big 5, which is Britain, Germany, Spain, France, and Italy, and they tend to forget there's one in the club that should be mentioned, which is Poland. Poland is the 6th largest country in the EU. It's the 20th largest GDP in the world. Quite a lot of square meters coming from Denmark, which is a very tiny country. 330,000 square kilometers is a big country for me, very big. Around 40 million population, give and take, and end of last year we had 140% mobile penetration. And for the numbers, just so you can translate it into euro if you want, the exchange rate last year and this year is around 4.15. So take the numbers, divide by 4, you have it in euros. So, and Poland, we don't put it here, but is the only country in the EU that the last many years have had a positive growth on the GDP every year, also in 7, 8, 9 and 10, where the rest of Europe was in recession, due to a good craftsmanship and, let's say, conservative management of the national finances. So we will go through a little bit about what we did in 2012, and at the end I will give you what is the outcome in terms of numbers. But Bartek, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. So I will go through some of the initiatives and things that we did in 2012, which we're very proud, which were instrumental to the numbers you will see at the end of the presentation. So I think being from marketing, communication and communication with the customers is very important. We proud ourselves to be very clear in what we offer and very clear in how do we communicate. Obviously our guests from Poland know our communication, but for some of our foreign guests, let me play one of our commercials that we ran last year. This is a promotion for our on it for free, our prepaid communication.
When the moon goes down in the valley of time, talking about time, when the sun, yes the sun, refused to shine,
W Play lubimy gwiazdki, ale tylko na niebie. W Play na kartę nie ma gwiazdek, opłat i kodów. A żeby rozmawiać i SMS-ować w Play za 0 zł wystarczy aktywne konto. Wybierz nową ofertę Play na kartę z zerem bez gwiazdek. Play.
So it's a very clear communication that mobilizes the customers to move to Play. I think this communication is important because when we take a look at the numbers and we check how much money different operators spend per new subscriber, clearly we're the leader in this category. We're spending significantly less per new subscriber compared to our market competitors. So this effectiveness of this communication is something that we're very proud of. What we continue to do is take market share from our competition. The customers are voting with their consumer decisions, and last year, again, as in the previous years, we took a vast majority of the customers porting numbers in Poland. We started this market 3-4 years ago, and clearly we're the market leader. So 7 out of 10 customers porting their number in Poland moved to Play last year. We do it also with the communication, but also with the products. A year ago, we launched a breakthrough product on the Polish market, which was the first mass market offer with truly unlimited voice communication called Formula 4.0. So this was a revolution on the Polish market, which was copied by our competitors, but we're clearly associated in the minds of the consumers as the champion for unlimited communication, and this has been one of our key success factors last year. Also last year we introduced iPhone 5, and we quickly became #1 seller of the iPhones in Poland. So we operate on the different market segments, on prepaid, but also on this higher end segments which is offered with the devices like the iPhone. So we're very happy with this, that we're able to penetrate the customers who want to spend more money on the device and on the service, and we're very effective in launching new things to the market. Our brand gained a lot of value according to Rzeczpospolita, which is one of the top dailies in Poland. They made every year statistics on how much the brand value can be attached to different Polish brands, and actually Play, after those over 5 years, became one of the most valuable brands in Poland. The value stands right now in 1.4 billion Polish Polish zlotys. We got a lot of awards, a lot of distinctions, and these were related to both our offers, but also to our customer service, which we continuously improve. So, as you can see, the number of awards that Play has been receiving last year is fantastic. We also got a nomination for the top employer in 2012, which is giving the sign that this team work and team that Marcin was speaking is very important for us, and this has been recognized on the market. Last year we also engaged with one of the biggest charity actions in Poland. This is called Wielka Orkiestra Świątecznej Pomocy, and we were instrumental to gathering tens of thousands of millions of zlotys through this charity that goes for the good causes. We mobilized our customers and we mobilized the market to give support for this charity, and we used it extensively as a sign that Play is a large company and it's respected member of the business community in Poland. Also, what we are proud of is a very high score on NPS. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the methodology, Net Promoter Score. So we ask how the customers would recommend Play services to their friends and family. And we're very proud that our score is one of the highest in Europe, and it's definitely highest in Poland. This also is underlying our success in bringing the customers and making them happy. So they are recommending our services to their friends and family, and this is one of the key pillars for our growth. We have been selling smartphones since 3 years. Last year what we saw is that the penetration of the smartphone is still increasing. Currently on our offer we are reaching over 70% of new sales being sold with smartphones. I mentioned the iPhone, but on the mass market you have some of our top sellers from last year. We also pride ourselves to offer to the consumers the widest choice of the handsets and devices on the market. So we partner with all the major vendors on the Polish market. The smartphones are translating then to the usage. We also pride ourselves to have the highest data usage per customer in Poland. So despite the fact that our market share is not yet 38%, we estimate that this is the share of the data traffic that the Play network is carrying currently. So clearly our customers are the ones that are future oriented, that are the ones who are going to take up new services. So this is also creating an optimism for us for the future, where we can grow our business with the consumers taking those new services. And now, let's play some numbers.
Thank you, Bartek. Our Polish colleagues and journalists know that we never do any predictions about the future. Last year, nevertheless, we said when we had our press conference in 2009, about 9, we could say we have added 1.8 million subscribers. And the year after, we could again say we have added 1.8 million subscribers. And last year, we could announce that we have added 1.8 million subscribers again. And the question is, what can we announce this year? And since we are becoming let's say, last year was very much under the headline of profitability, we said we will be a little bit more modest, and therefore at the end of this year we can announce that we have reached a customer base by end of 2012 of 8.7 million subscribers, which is an increase year on year of 1.6 million, not 1.8, but we are still very pleased with actually adding 1.6 million subscribers. The split between prepaid and postpaid is 45 postpaid, 55 prepaid. That was the same as end of 2011, so it is unchanged. And the subscriber base has increased by 23%. So all these numbers are very positive and is a proof that the concept of delivering value for money, clear communication and good service in our shops and in the customer care is really something that is inspiring the Polish consumer to switch to Play. If we look at the the business clients, that's something that we started entering really in 2011. We're also happy to announce that we have more than doubled the customer base of business clients. And in particular, we are very strong in what we call SOHO and SME, so small office, home office, and the small, medium enterprises. That's where we are very strong. Some of you who have flown here with LOT will notice that we also the sponsor and the partner for LOT Polish Airlines, which is a real corporate, you can say. But the former CEO of LOT knows very well that he has bought basically 3,500 individual postpaid offers combined with a little discount, and that we are not normally addressing the corporate segment in order to avoid cost of complexity. So that's again an outlier, but a very successful one, I have to say, and we are still pleased with this cooperation. So business clients has been very important for us. One number that Bartek also, he mentioned that we are very strong in data, and I should mention that we are roughly 70% of over 70% of the phones that we are selling. There's a few phone manufacturers represented here today, are indeed smartphones. So also our base of smartphones are increasing rapidly every month. We have also in the last 3 years said our revenues have increased by 650 million slots, which is give and take 180 million euro. So last year we announced, the year before, and the year before we announced the 650 million increase. So the question is, have we also slowed down a little bit on the increase of the revenues for this year? And the answer is indeed no, the opposite. So the total revenues in the group of 3.44 billion zloty in 2012, we actually added 750 million zlotys to the revenues compared to 2011. So the increase on revenues nominally was more than the years before. We have gained on revenue side 29% compared to 2011, which, if you look at it, the revenues were increasing by, the customer base was increasing by 23. So the underlying effect is that we, per customer, have actually managed to increase the revenue per user that we are having. So stronger revenue growth than subscriber growth. We have added one number that we have normally not presented earlier, which is how much is coming from interconnect. And the background is that in Poland we have had asymmetry, and we have been the beneficiary of asymmetry on mobile termination rates over the years. In 2011 those were 34% of the total revenues. In 2012 they were 28%, and with the latest drop in mobile termination rates, I will not predict the exact percentage, but I can say it will be significantly less this year of the total revenues. But despite this decline of mobile termination rates, we have managed to increase the total revenues from the users. So we are very pleased with the result of increasing 29% our revenues. Our EBITDA, even better so. I said last year was very much about profitability. So we have increased our earnings before interest, tax and depreciation from 874 million zloty to 1.2 billion. That's an increase of 40% year on year. So we are very pleased with this development, and we see in the next coming period we will continue this trend of increasing the bottom line. Also a new number, because I know the question will come from the journalist, is that we managed to decrease our debt last year by 20 million euro. Why do we give this number in euro? Because our debt is in euro, so that's why it's roughly 90 million zloty decrease of the net debt. And we are now significantly below €500 million in net debt for a company that is over 8 million subscribers and almost €1 billion in revenues. So quite insignificant actually in that respect. About the future, about 2 weeks ago we were very pleased to get the result from the latest auction tender, not auction, sorry, not a frequency tender, not an auction, but a tender where in October we filed a sealed bid to acquire LTE frequencies. There was 5 blocks available, and the regulator announced that of these 5 blocks where you could maximum take 3 of those blocks were indeed acquired by Play. So we have now in our hands what we perceive to be the tool and the background for the workhouse of LTE in the future. We see the 1800 megahertz network not just as a capacity extension of 3D, but if you notice the chipset manufacturers, etc., the one standard that everybody can agree on globally will be introduced in laptops, in tablets, in smartphones, whatsoever, are the 1800 frequencies. So by having significant spectrum in this frequency band, we have the best basis for developing a strong network in the future. And we will start deploying our 1800 frequencies as soon as we sort of physically have received the frequencies from the regulator. It will take a month or 2 for the procedure to finish, and then we can start investing in our network. We can also today announce that we have another unique solution. These are the colors of the operators in Poland, for those who don't know. The violet is Play, the green is Plus, the orange is Orange, and the magenta is T-Mobile. And what we can say is that we have signed a national roaming agreement with T-Mobile, as we have with Orange and with Polkomtel Plus, which means that Play subscribers are the only subscribers, not only in Poland, but I guess Europe-wide, that have access to 4 different networks, which you can say, isn't that a quite innovative way of doing network sharing? We see across Europe a lot of movement in direction of network sharing, which is beneficial in the sense of you can save some capex, you can save some opex, but you can also save some flexibility and some strategic freedom. What we have is we have our own network in the areas where we find it is beneficial for us, which is roughly 80% of the population. And then outside of that 80% of the population, we have the choice of 3 different partners to actually carry the traffic that we offer to the consumer. And that is quite unique, and we don't believe there's any operator in Europe or say in the world that have this opportunity of offering such quality to the consumer. So it's a new and unique solution that we will start implementing in the next coming weeks and months. We would also like to point to the fact that we have worked on and have now implemented an open billing platform for value-added services. So a lot of the application developers that you see represented here at Barcelona would like to work together with a mobile operator in order to charge the consumer for the services that they're actually using. And we are ready. We have the APIs, we have everything in place. So if you're a music provider, if you are a service provider, a map provider, whatever you are, provider, we will have a standard interface that you can use, and we can talk about a revenue share. We are very fair to speak to. Executives is standing in the back, is ready to sign up contracts. So we have already this platform, and we are ready to increase our cooperation with the aim of win-win-win for us, for the partner, and for the consumer, of course. So we can offer all the new fancy services in the future. And we believe if we look back 10 years, the internet bubble burst because the internet companies were not able to charge the consumers anything. We have learned from that, the industry have learned from that, and I think we are front runner in Poland in terms of being ready to actually offer our billing platform also to third parties. That pretty much concludes our presentation. We look back at 2012. It was an eminently good year for Play. We look at 2013 with a lot of confidence, and we are ready for questions. Thank you.